Hello, this is Dr. Garrett Castleberry, Program Director for Communication, Media, and Ethics at Mid-America Christian University. I'm here with our video discussion 5 prompt. End of the road here for COM 4103, Special Topics in Media Studies, Mythic Media in America. Our emphasis in this course, we are looking at the intersection of myth or myth-making, rather, mythology, semiotics, cultural analysis, cultural studies, and rhetoric as these ideas, theories, and phenomenon converge under the guise of media studies. And as a way to explore mythic media in America in a fast-track setting, we have utilized the pulp character and really global commodity of the Dark Knight, Batman, as a central example. And rather than thinking of that process, of that example as a bunch of fan service, quite the opposite. We are investigating, interrogating the character, the myth, the icon, as a way to better understand the power of myth and myth making in our culture and in across cultural boundaries, across culture. And so with our course coming to an end, there are a couple of ways we typically approach our weekly objectives. We are in hurry up mode to finish those final remaining assignments. We're also in reflective mode, looking back over what we've accomplished, what we've covered, and how we begin to piece together those ideas, those theories, those concepts, the interrelation between our lead texts and reading materials, screening materials, and the like. We've looked at several works in this course, including Chris Gaviler's Superhero Comics as a cultural analysis text. Of course, John Shelton Lawrence and Robert Jewett's The Myth of the American Superhero as a way to understand myth-making as an ideological form of persuasion in the U.S. specifically. And then also Frank Miller's Batman The Dark Knight Returns as a text that challenges us to understand how myth-making works within narrative, but also as a reflection of culture, of politics, of society. All right, so we have been wrapping our collective heads around these readings and others. We've taken peeks into Joseph Campbell. We've looked at Thomas Rentz and Janet Hugger Rushing's work regarding the mythic perspective. We've peeked into Rod Hart's cultural analysis, and so we are getting some exposure across the spectrum. Roland Barthes, mythologies, all right, so strategic samplings here and there, and then of course we never forget about old Arthur Asa Berger and some of his reflections on semiotics. Oh, and by the way, we've even recommended a little bit of Claude Lévi-Strauss. All right, myth and meaning, didn't quite get into this work, but we've left it on the coffee table to pick up at a later date. But enough about these resources. What can we do to finalize that video discussion? Our video discussion has been among the strongest thus far for many of our students in the communication, media, and ethics major, and we look forward to closing out in high fashion. 3 quick prompts. And we will be set to begin our video discussion in the final week of the course. First of all, a subjective response from our peers here. Which reading stood out to you the most and why? And rather than easily identifying with a large text, right, a Jewett and Lawrence, a Gaviler, and so on, think about a specific chapter within one of those key readings or one of our sub-readings, right? One of those journal articles that we shared. Think about those readings and which one stood out to you, has left a positive impact in some way, and more importantly, why? All right, why did it rise above some of the other readings. And so we're not necessarily asking you to name your favorite, because while you can, it's less essential. But what we are going for is an understanding of what is leaving an impression on us as we move through these types of course materials. Second, how have your views about myths or myth making changed? All right, so in what ways have our readings and the process of this course changed or altered or impressed your views about myths or myth making? All right, so we're marking that point of initiation as we go down the into the underworld and seek to come out the other side. Finally, I want you to preview, tease, or perhaps go into detail with part of your unique approach to studying The Dark Knight Returns or The Dark Knight in our adaptation focus of Mythic analysis in week 5. All right, and so if you'd like, if this would help us to promote getting the circulation of our videos moving along at a quicker pace this week, feel free to answer the first 2 prompts sooner, and then save your response to the final prompt for this week for a second entry. All right, so if you prefer, if it helps for clarification, you can respond to these first 2 prompts and then maybe save that second prompt for later in the week or toward the end of the weekend, if that helps your process. So once again, quick recap: which reading stood out to you and why? How have your views of myths or myth making changed as a result of this course and the content we've encountered, as well as our discussion? And finally, we want you to preview, tease, or outright share part of how you are approaching your week 5 Mythic analysis. All right, that can also reflect a kind of adaptation analysis, right? An analysis of the pattern of adaptation from one medium as translated to another medium. Now that we've read The Dark Knight Returns, but also are priming you to screen Christopher Nolan's well-received, award-winning The Dark Knight from 2008. All right, look forward to these responses. Everyone has been locked in this course, and we have had some exciting and stirring discussion, and I hope we can rise to the occasion and engage one another one final time for COM 4103, Special Topics in Media Studies, Mythic Media in America. Thank you.